I mean, bro, they literally put on, I would say, an instant classic of a main event. The first time we ever got to see Seth and Punk finally put hands on each other did not disappoint. Did not disappoint. Netflix on Raw, bro. Netflix on Raw. Raw on Netflix. I said Netflix on Raw. Raw on Netflix.
We're going Raw on Netflix, bro. How are we going to take that?
I don't know if I want to take that.
How are we going to go take that, bro?
I don't know if I want to take that Raw on Netflix. That's a out of pocket.
That's where it's at. Raw is on Netflix, so you gotta go Raw on Netflix.
I guess I never thought about it like that.
Raw on Netflix, bro.
Jesus Christ.
Let's go, bro. Raw on Netflix, bro. Shit.
It was definitely a Raw moment, bro. It was definitely a Raw night. It was fucking intense, dude. It was fucking intense. Monday Night Raw has officially debuted on Netflix. How are we feeling?
Looking forward to it. I can say that. Looking forward to it. My straight, honest opinion, looking forward to it. Even though the first episode, in my personal opinion, was not the best, I would say, personally, but...
How do you mean?
Like I told you personally, I felt like it was like, yeah, it had its PLE levels to it, but I felt it had like house show vibes to it, just like how everything was playing out and shit.
Even though, yes, I disagree, bro. There was not any house show vibes to it, bro. You're tripping.
Yes, bro, look, The Rock is over being all friendly and shit.
When would The Rock ever come out and cut a promo at a house show in 2025?
But still, the way he was acting and shit, bro, it was like...
That's never gonna happen in 2025, though. Maybe in, like, 2002.
That's like PLE level standard type of shit, but, like, the way he was acting, though, bro.
Just because he didn't come out and cut a final boss heel promo doesn't make it a house show, bro. It's, like, a celebration of wrestling. It's for a very casual audience.
I understand it.
And so it doesn't necessarily need to be the final boss character. We saw him already dipping into that a bit more on NXT, which is a bit more for the hardcore fans. And so he can dip into that a little bit more, kind of doing the Cody Crybaby voice and everything like that. And so to me, that already showed me on NXT that, like, hey, just chill, everyone. Like, this show was to be a fun, positive celebration of pro wrestling. I think that's why all the faces went over. That's why all the promos were very lighthearted. That's why everything was very fun and fluffy, if you want to say that. But
definitely
to take that and to jump to say that that's house show vibes, I disagree, because I've been to house show as well. And to me, while yes, that is kind of the vibe of a house show, is just like a fun, good vibe show, it's much more low-key. To me, how I describe house shows is like an indie version of WWE, where it's a lot more simplified, it's a lot more in-ring storytelling, and just simply watching really good wrestling from wrestlers that you happen to see on TV. This was not that. And the reason why I say that this was definitely not a house show was because every single match had some sort of storyline implication. Whether that was concluding a storyline or somehow furthering a storyline. So with concluding storylines, you got stuff like the Tribal Combat. Obviously, that kind of finished off, at least for now, Roman versus Solo. Roman is clearly, I think, going to be moving on to other things. Rhea versus Liv. Rhea's clearly finished with that feud, and they're going to be going in different directions now with all of that stuff. Then you look at, I think, to continue...
You think they're going to go in a different direction with the Rhea and Liv shit?
Yeah, I don't think that Rhea and Liv are going to continue to be in a feud right now in the immediate future. I think they're both definitely going in different directions. Just because they didn't tease it on this show doesn't mean that that's... I think that they just wanted to finish this storyline and give it a clean ending and give Rhea her star moment with the Taker rub. But we didn't need to bring out Becky or Charlotte and kind of tease the next feud going forward. I think that it was just fine to let Rhea have her moment, and we have plenty of time until WrestleMania to figure out what her next feud is going to be. But I think that the Liv and Rhea story is over. I think that for continuing feuds, You have Jay and Drew,
so you
which...
hold up. You stayed a little bit. You stayed a little bit on that because I was already going to be part of my next question. I guess just ask you as you're going with the matches and shit. So I seen a lot of people, the Undertaker, fucking whatever, pop out or whatever was supposed to be Becky Lynch, and that was supposed to be like, oh, like supposed to like further the story. But,
I think they made the right call.
Last minute,
I think they made the right decision.
Okay, and I want to hear your opinion on that because you literally just like went through it and you're like, oh, that happened, whatever.
So I think that the reason why that was the right call is, like I said, this show was, let's have fun, celebrate pro wrestling, let's use these matches to tell the stories that need to be told, and for the fans like us who are invested will understand what's happening here. So Liv and Rhea, that story finishes in the ring. The reason why I'm so sure that that feud is done is because not only does she destroy Liv with the double Riptide finish, but then she gets her comeuppance on Dom that we've been waiting for too. To me, that's like, okay, this is done. She's done everything that she needs to do there. You can either then, yes, bring out Becky and kind of tease the next feud going forward. But like I say, you have so much time still to do that going into the Rumble, going into Mania. Plenty of time to set up that feud with Becky if that's what you want to do. To give Rhea a moment of her to like be the star with Taker coming out and giving Rhea the rub and getting that shot of Taker on the bike with Rhea with the belt and all that awesome shit, like that puts Rhea on a pedestal. It's gonna be a shot that I literally think will be used in her like Hall of Fame induction package. And like
Rhea's gonna be OP again. There's gonna be an OP title run again, is what you're saying.
I do think it'll be another strong title run for sure, but I just think it was a way to demonstrate, like, to your more casual fans, right, who are the audience that they were clearly targeting with this show. You might not have seen Rhea Ripley before but you know who Undertaker is if you know anything about wrestling. And now Undertaker coming out and having that moment with Rhea solidifies her as a star that you need to pay attention to. I think it's a very clean way of just quick, get a pop from the crowd, which I popped hard, to bring out Taker, but then also for the more casual fans, let them know, hey, this is a real star. You need to pay attention to her. And I think that as far as I can think of, it's one of the first times that a male legend has come back to give a female superstar the rub in that way, which I think was just a cool moment to demonstrate to, again, like lapsed fans or people who haven't paid attention to wrestling ever really, that like this isn't the same women's wrestling shit that you might have seen back in the day. This is the same bullshit that fucking used to be put on your televisions. Like, this is real wrestling just as much as the men's is real wrestling. Like, real wrestling, however you want to interpret that, but this shit is real storylines, you know what I mean? Like, these characters matter, and Taker can come out and solidify that for fans who maybe don't quite know what all is going on. So to me, I thought that was a great moment. But just the point I was trying to make before we were getting into that was, to me, why it can't be called a house show is, like I said, those were matches where storylines were concluded, and then you had matches where storylines were also continued, where Jay and Drew have their match where I think Drew is going to get pushed further into that crash out character where, like, he's done his best work over the last year when Punk has come out and fucked him over, when all the bloodline shit has been getting to him. That's when Drew has done his best work over the last year or so. And so I think that what happened, while it might look like a negative result on the surface, I think that it's going to continue to elevate Drew's character and continue this push that he has against the bloodline. And eventually he will beat Jay. I feel very confident in that. And when he does beat Jay, it will be so brutal, and he's going to I hope beats the shit out of him and really demonstrates that, like, he is this dark, ready to do whatever it takes Drew McIntyre. And so I think
Batman? What happened to Batman?
Sometimes Batman gets his ass beat, bro. You remember Bane?
Oh, yeah.
In that fucking sewer? Fucking had his back broken and
He's
shit.
still Batman after everything?
What happened after that, bro? He locked in and got the dub at the end of the day. Batman took L's sometimes, bro. But at the end of the day, Batman learned
Batman
from the L's.
To you, though.
Yeah.
No.
Because he came out with Cody, hugged him and everything. He's trying to let him know, like, hey, man, I'm not
That's
doing
not what
this
Batman does.
It was a loose comparison. Jesus Christ.
This was said Drew, this one told me bad take on my fucking who attacked fucking.
Cause you said. All right, we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into it.
Saying Drew McIntyre is bad.
We're not gonna get into it.
Whatever. Right.
I say all that to say that, to me, I think the hate going towards that, I've seen a bit of hate going towards that Jay Drew match. I think that's unwarranted. Just give it a second, let Drew cook, and you guys will realize that this is all for the betterment of Drew McIntyre. And then the main event, Punk versus Seth, I think that just kicked off a feud that might have its final blow off at literally Mania this year. Like, who knows? Like, that's going to be a feud that I think is going to continue to run for the next few months at least into the beginning part of 2025. And it started off with just a fucking elite wrestling match, a truly phenomenal wrestling match. Two of the greatest wrestlers that WWE has ever had. And I know this might sound a little crazy to say, but I just literally, within the last week, rewatched WrestleMania. I forget the number.
28, you said?
No. That was the night before Raw. That's what I watched for my childhood nostalgia. But I went back and watched, it's either like 12 or 13, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, the 1 hour Iron Man match. And obviously this was a different style match than an Iron Man match. But it gave me that Bret versus Shawn, like, these are two true wrestlers that, like, if you... The nerds are gonna be able to appreciate that, I think, for a long time. Like, that was a special match to be able to see. They've had such mirrored paths throughout wrestling in so many ways. I just think it was such a beautiful match to get to see live. That was amazing. And so, I mean, overall, my thoughts on the show were that it was a great, like, there was that mini Mania talk. And I even heard Triple H addressing it in an interview, I think with Sports Illustrated before the show. Like, he understood the assignment of people like hyping this up to be a mini WrestleMania. I got that vibe through and through. With the legend appearances, with the level of matches that we saw, I felt like I was watching a slightly smaller version of a WrestleMania. Like, as big of an episode of Monday Night Raw could possibly be, just about.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know what else people could have expected. Like, you saw the Women's Championship change hands, which is a top-level championship. Mm-hmm. You saw the biggest draw in professional wrestling in action, Tribal Combat, becoming the Tribal Chief again, like, with that whole moment with Heyman giving the fucking Ulafala to The Rock, to the, like, dude, it's amazing. The whole fucking cinema of all the interferences and everything throughout the match, like, I truly got those WrestleMania vibes from the show. I really did. It was so fun, so elite. I felt like the crowd felt super happy coming out of the show. Like, it felt like good vibes. I didn't hear anyone complaining as we were all walking out. Like, it felt like a good vibes show. It felt like a good show. So, I mean, yeah, that's my overall review of Netflix on Raw. How did you... What's your overall... Did I sway you at all? Are you still feeling like house showy vibes? Do you want to at least make your case? I kind of gave you my side of things. Or did I sway you at all? You can make your case if you want.
You swayed me a little bit, but I still feel like it was like house show vibes a little bit.
To what reason do you say that, though?
Like I said, a lot of the promos that happened, a lot of shit that was going on, it was like more like, going behind the scenes type of shit, you know. Probably like Triple H would come out after like a episode of SmackDown, and then they would have like dark matches or whatever, some shit like that, or some bullshit like that, bro. I literally just honestly felt like
what do you mean by that? Like, what match felt like that? What moment felt like that? I don't understand what you're talking about.
The Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso match really felt like that. It was more like house showy and shit like that. It was more like, even though the entrance was...
No, I remember that time I saw Travis Scott at the house show.
Stupid.
Yeah.
But that's fucking ridiculous, bro.
I forgot about that.
That's ridiculous. Okay, whatever, bro. But the match...
What do you mean, whatever? He came out with Lil Wayne at WrestleMania. They got a better artist in 2025.
This wasn't even perform, bro. This was just fucking blood the whole time.
And I was hitting my pen. It was lit. It was a vibe.
Oh my god.
It was a vibe. We was vibing, fiend.
Bruh.
House show. Travis Scott. You crazy, bro.
I can't believe they blanked on stupid ass Travis Scott, bro.
Like, I just don't see what you're saying, bro. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't know. Do you have any other arguments?
Because CM Punk, Seth Rollins match, perfect. 10 out of 10 match. That's honestly the best thing you can give it. We've had other PLEs fucking like the Indian, not the Indian, fucking Saudi.
Whoa. Whoa.
You also had one in India, the fucking greatest Royal Rumble or
It's
whatever.
late. We've been drinking. So let's just throw that out there.
Nah, bruh.
But
Don't do that to me.
whoa.
Don't do that to me, bro.
I'm not doing shit.
Don't do that to me. They literally
Not
had the
doing
greatest Rumble in India, bruh.
That was in Saudi Arabia.
No.
Yeah.
They had one in India.
The greatest Royal Rumble, the thing that you're talking about, that was in Saudi
They
Arabia.
had one in India, though.
Brother.
They had a PLE in India, bruh. Nah, fuck off, because fucking, I remember there was one of those fucking, it was a fucking cage match, but instead it was like Punjabi sticks and shit like that. And it was like with Batista and fucking the Great Khali, and Batista fucking won that shit. Swear,
It wasn't
bruh.
in India, though.
Fuck.
Anyways, you were saying.
I completely blanked.
I'm gonna leave that in.
You're an asshole, bro.
I am.
You're a fucking asshole.
I am.
You're an asshole.
I am.
I'm a fucking up, dog.
It was an innocent mistake.
Innocent, right?
So I recorded. Well, I didn't record. My lovely girlfriend, who attended Monday Night Raw with me, recorded some of our shout out to her. Recorded some of our like reactions to some of the moments throughout the night. And so I have just like some of my reactions to different things throughout the night that I thought we could take a look at, just so we could give people a little bit of insight into what my experience. Yeah, it's a live reaction for him as well, just to give a bit of insight into what it's like experiencing one of these shows. I feel like it'll be interesting for the people. So I mean, there's the. You can fucking see, bro.
Let's fucking go.
I was losing my.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So I mean,
That's fucking.
obviously, yeah, bro. Like shit was pretty hype off the rip. Like just. Bro, that was the first thing they hit us with, bro. And so we had a couple
After
sips of some
Triple H,
things. Yeah, obviously after Triple H came out, that was the first thing they hit us with.
I wasn't expecting that either, bro.
Dude, like,
I was watching. I guess I was literally watching that shit. Like everything went dark. It's like, okay, so what they're gonna do from here now? And I was like, okay.
just out of nowhere, bro. Like, holy shit, bro. I was literally losing my fucking mind, bro. That shit was absolutely epic, bro. Like, that's a pop I've been waiting for literally since I was a little kid to get to see that full come out, bro. That was amazing. This is the moment where we get to see the OTC, and I'm already ready. Acknowledging.
This one lost his voice. I'm dead. I'm surprised you have your voice now.
I had to lay low the last couple of days or yesterday since then. Nah, it was, bro, I was going crazy. This fool's entrance does take forever.
Jesus Christ.
But that shit was epic. I mean, honestly, for us having basically nosebleeds, like I was telling this fool earlier, we had some of the highest seats in the stadium in the section we were in, but it was still a really good view of everything. Like, it was awesome. This is after the match with the...
Oh my God.
The face-off.
No fucking way.
So, like, just that whole match was fucking absolutely unbelievable, bro. Like, getting to see everyone's, like, interventions and everything. Obviously, we didn't film all the matches and stuff. We were enjoying the show, but I just fucking... That was such a great start to the show. Like, we were going crazy. Everyone... I felt like the whole shit was just building up throughout the whole match, and then fucking... with, like, Cody coming out at the end and everything, obviously, bro. Like, that was absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This one was another one that was just, like, so out of nowhere. Like, literally after the match, it's like everything just kind of goes dark for a second. I think they probably went through some commercials or whatever, and then out of nowhere, bro, just fucking time is up. I was just taking this in, bro.
But I sure you was wearing
I was just drinking it.
Fuck yeah, bro.
Oh my god, bro.
That's fucking hard.
Dude.
Let's fucking go.
That shit right there, bro. I shit you not. Like, it was just such a perfect moment. Like, I don't know if I've ever given the full backstory for the people, but that's like, that was my guy as a kid. As most kids around my age, I was born in 2000, unlike some 90s babies over here. I was born in 2000, and so I feel like if you're around my age, you're probably also a massive Cena mark. Like, he was just the guy as a kid. Like, it's the reason I own this fucking belt right here. I've had this since I was like 10, 11 years old, and it's because I wanted to be John Cena. I think every kid wanted to be John Cena. It was just the ultimate inspirational fucking hero as a kid.
There's always fuck Edge, fuck Great Khali,
fuck Umaga, fuck Batista, fuck Randy, bro, I was with all the... I mean, yes, part of me fucked with him, but no one over Cena, bro. There's never anyone over Cena.
Bro, that foot dad's head, bro.
Fuck, bro. Honestly, like, that was my first time ever getting to see him, bro. And, like, finally getting to check that off of my bucket list. It was, like, fulfilling a childhood dream that I never thought would actually come true, bro. It was unbelievable. Like, just fucking unbelievable. I'm still, like, in shock saying that, like, it happened. Like, I was there to see it, bro. Like, it was just fucking amazing.
Bro, announcing he would be in the Rumble.
Then we got this shit. I took the camera from my girl here because she was so excited. She wanted to see her. That's her favorite, yeah. And so we were just excited to see this entrance and everything. And then this moment, dude, like, this was amazing. The fact that she caught our reactions to this, bro. You can literally hear my girl screaming, "Let's go!" Like, we had all been waiting to see this, bro.
Oh, fucking
finally seeing that shit, bro. Finally seeing Dom catch the fucking riptide. Oh, it was so great, bro. It was so great. And then...
rolling.
See, you could hear me scream at the beginning like, "Oh my god, what?" Because I was like, this gimmick? Like, no fucking way we're seeing American Badass Taker right now. I was just losing my mind. And my girlfriend, she was confused because the lights went dark. We hear the fucking dong, dong. But then that music starts playing. And so
you start going crazy. She's like, what?
She was recording. She was like, "Wait, who is it?" And, like, she literally asked me that right now. You'll see my fucking... Hold on.
Who is it? The Undertaker!
Cause, bro, I was fucking losing my mind. I was losing my mind.
Oh, that's great. That is fucking great, dog. Oh, that's fucking
go. So insane.
That's fucking
bro. Then you got fucking
Fiend.
So it was literally like right below us, like we were right above it.
No fucking
and so
way.
we're looking, we like can't see it at first. We're like, where the fuck is he? And then they finally put the video up there. And the first thing I'm like, bro, does this one have a fat ass split?
Fiend. Raw Netflix, bro.
Oh my god, fire!
Raw Netflix.
Absolutely fire. And he's literally just standing there chiefing. We were so confused, bro. And then it just starts playing. We were like, wait, what? Because I thought he was going to start rapping. But then we were like, fuck it. Alright, it's just me, Ooze. And you could see like the whole stadium going. They were on the fucking announce table. It had so much hype, bro. The energy was crazy. And there he is.
Hey, bro, are you a real American?
Bro, we had seen the rumors.
Do you fight for what's right?
And we were praying to God that it wasn't true. It was like a swerve, and they were just like, it was Triple H memeing us through the dirt sheets. No. When that music hit, and I see his name pop up on the big screen right in front of us, I was just like, dude, this is actually happening. This is actually happening. And then just everyone, you could hear just fucking, we all started doing it. We all started booing him. I mean, dude, it was fucking, we got to boo Hogan. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
Laughing in heavens right now.
Abso-fucking-lutely. But after we got through all that bullshit, we got to get to the main event. And dude, the energy for this, just fucking unreal. It truly had that Mania level. I don't know if it's just because it was the main event, but even more so than the Tribal Combat, this had a WrestleMania feel to it. This felt like a big wrestling match the whole time. And then you see at the end the war that they went through, man. Laid out in the fucking ring. I stood there the whole time and watched his ass fucking flop out of the ring, go and do his interview. Like, I was watching the whole thing play out as he was walking out, dude. But yeah, man, that was my experience. Those were my highlights of my experience on
GG's, bro.
On Monday Night Raw, dude. Honestly,
what more can you want, bro? Honestly.
That's how I felt as I was leaving the show, was what more could I have asked for? That was a legendary night of professional wrestling. To be able to say that I was at the very first episode of Raw on Netflix with so many fucking legends there, legendary matches, legendary moments, and that's only an episode of Raw. Like, it's just an episode of Raw. Like, when you compare that to other episodes of Raw, that's why I was like, when people were coming out of it disappointed, I was like, bro, like, think about what we watched last Monday. You know what I mean? Like, that for an episode of Raw was fucking unbelievable. Abso-fucking-lutely unbelievable. Just the whole presentation of it, the whole, with the lighting and the whole screens and all the different effects and stuff, bro. Like, the whole thing, absolutely elite. Absolutely elite. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. I had a truly phenomenal time. A truly, truly phenomenal time. One thing that I did think was funny, I literally just remembered this because I said something about the lighting. There was a bunch of fans that kept chanting, like, a couple sections to the left of where we were at to turn the lights off. They were, like, or to turn the lights down or something. Like, I guess they couldn't see.
Oh, what the fuck?
And it wasn't bugging me at all. In my section where we were at, it was fine. It wasn't too much of an issue.
them.
Literally, yes, like chanting it throughout matches and shit. And I was like, bro, like that shit low key was pissing me off because I was like, shut the fuck up, like.
Trying to hear those chants.
Yeah, like I'm trying to get into the match, and these fools are like, that made it feel more like a house show to me more than anything. Was those fools chanting that shit? I was like, bro, like, watch the fucking match. But if they couldn't, they couldn't. Like, to be fair, like if they really couldn't, but I felt like it was alright. But that was just for my section. We were in Terrace 26, so if that for anyone watching who might have been there, if you're fucking don't bitch at me, we were fine. I was fine, but yeah, it was overall, man. We're gonna break down the whole show in a bit more detail now, kind of going through things, but that just from an experience of someone going to the show, money well spent. I felt like it was they delivered as much as I could have possibly hoped for. It was an absolutely unbelievable night, bro. Like that shit was amazing, bro.
Jeez, bro.
Literally, I texted you when I came home that night after we finally got back because the traffic getting out of that fucking parking garage was crazy as shit. Once we got on the freeway, it wasn't too bad, but just getting out of the city was rough. But
how much was the parking?
Like 60-ish, I think, 50 something. Yeah. LA, it's LA. What are you gonna do? But fucking I texted you when I finally got home from everything, and I remember one of the like main things I said was just like, I love pro wrestling. That was and I feel like that's what they were going for, was to remind people, show people this is why you should care about what we do, because what we do is really cool. And that's how I felt coming out of it. Was like, damn, this wrestling shit is fucking awesome. I love this shit. Can't wait to go and talk about it on L Show. Shit was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
That's fucking wild, bro. God damn, bro. God damn. This one saw everybody. This one literally saw everybody. He was like Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes.
Your girl didn't get your reaction to that. I'm guessing since it was so quick.
Well, yeah, everything was just happening during the match. The shit was so crazy.
I
yeah.
can imagine it was another fucking oh my god moment.
Bro, like, cause it all just happened so quickly, bro.
My god.
It literally all happened so fast. Like once Tamatonga and Jacob came out, that was honestly such a highlight. Getting to see Jacob just hit the fucking Samoan drop into the moonsault like that. That patented combo. That was unreal.
That fool been looking. That fool a little chunky though.
He's still hitting his moves.
That fool a little chunky though.
Fuck it. If he still hits his moves, fuck it. It's just the winter weight, bro. It's a little cold outside, you know. Just gotta stay warm. We'll let that fool. He'll get his summer bod right when he needs to, bro. Chill,
turn
bro.
into Umaga, bro.
Bruh, fuck it. If he's still hitting those moves, I don't give a fuck, bro.
That's the size of Umaga. Fuck.
I don't care. If he's still hitting those moves, I don't give a fuck.
That's wild.
But yeah, banger show, bro. Banger show. We've kind of done a bit of a general review of the show, but I wanted to break down some of my thoughts a little bit more, specifically yours as well. Kind of see how we're feeling about the show overall in a little bit more detail. Because as much as I feel like some people have said that this wasn't the best show storyline-wise, I do think that there's still some interesting stuff to take from it. So, I mean, we got the awesome promo to start off the show, which I wanted to touch on because of the controversy that it caused, the alleged controversy. I haven't actually seen any of the pushback, really, but Triple H addressed it in the press conference.
I didn't get to see the press conference because, as you know, someone crashed in front of my apartment.
Yeah, there was a crazy fucking car accident near this fool's house. The show's crazy. So there was the promo in the beginning of the show, kind of going through the history of pro wrestling and everything. And in that promo, they talk about like baby faces and heels and like the work and the shoot and all these different like insider terms. And Triple H addressed it on the press conference. Apparently there was some backlash from people that were like, oh my god, I can't believe they said all these different words in one promo, blah, blah, blah. And like, what's the big fucking deal, dude? Like,
already, bro.
That's my thing. Like, if this was like 25 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever, like any time before that, when kayfabe was still kind of a thing in professional wrestling, pre-internet, basically.
It's still a thing, but like when it was like the thing, kayfabe was.
See,
the
to me,
thing.
it's really not. Like, kayfabe's evolved. Like, stories have to be so based in reality to have that element of kayfabe to
There's
them.
still a thing of kayfabe.
Okay, kinda, yeah.
But I'm talking about like back then when like it was the thing. Oh, you believe that this fool didn't fuck with this fool.
Yeah.
They wanted to kill each other. They wanted to do this.
Well, that they were actually beating the shit out of each other. Like, that's just not the case anymore. And so I do feel like it's such a, like, fucking old school carny mentality to be like, oh, why are they saying all of these words? They're exposing the business. It's like, dude, there's fucking dozens of hours of wrestling documentaries out there and all these different shows and YouTube shows like our stupid shit that we've pulled back the curtain.
Those people complaining about that shit would probably live Dark Side of the Ring.
Bro, thank you. It's like, how the fuck are you complaining but you love all that shit? That makes no fucking... Blame fucking Shawn, Triple H, Diesel, and fucking Razor for fucking hugging in the fucking ring in Madison Square Garden and fucking it up. That's who fucked it up, okay? If you want to get mad at anyone, get mad at them. Jesus fucking Christ. Why did they
do Hulk Hogan? Because they watched probably the Vince docs. They're like...
Not even... It's because we've seen tapes of this fool saying racial slurs and shit. Like, we know for a shoot, brother, that you're a shitty person. And so, like, all of these terms,
hey, man,
they've been so a part of just the wrestling fans' fucking dialect, whatever you want to call it, that, like... I don't know, bro. Just that whole controversy, I feel like people are fucking tripping. Grow the fuck up. Jesus Christ. It's 2025. Like, wrestling has changed. We are in a new era. The Smarks won, dude. Like, that's where we're at.
Should we forgive Hulk Hogan?
Huh?
Should we forgive Hulk Hogan? Hey, man, he just didn't want that colored feller on his daughter.
Well, you know, he could certainly, he could say that, I guess. Like, I can't stop him from saying it, but I could boo you.
Yeah.
I could boo you for saying it. That's also my right. For all the freedom of speech defenders that have been fucking glazing the Hulkster, we all got freedoms, brother. We all got freedoms.
Hey, bro, but it's political.
Yeah, okay. Lost my fucking shit for The Undertaker, by the way.
Rolling.
Yeah, on a motorcycle, fucking the American badass Undertaker. Lost my shit for him, but it's political. Okay. Okay, buddy. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. I thought that the promo was fucking awesome. It was a beautiful love letter to pro wrestling. I thought that Triple H's opening was super hype. It was a great introduction. Like, truly, I'm not just saying this. I think it was a great introduction to the Netflix era as far as this is what professional wrestling is. We're not pretending that it's something else anymore. We know you guys aren't stupid. This is why people love pro wrestling. It's the stories. Come watch some stories with us. It never ends. That's the beautiful part, is there will always be a new wrestler doing something interesting forever. So join the fucking ride. I thought it was that. It was beautiful. It's like, I don't understand what the controversy is about. People are fucking
overreacting.
People are tripping, man. People are tripping. Moving on into the next kind of segment of the show. After Triple H's whole introduction, we got just a fucking nuclear pop for The Rock. Absolutely huge. And, like, that's, to me, like, all the people who are super hyper-focusing on his promo and getting super upset about it, that's what I would offer them, is, like, listen to that pop, dude.
That shit was amazing, bro.
Like,
everything went crazy, bro.
At the end of the day, isn't that the point of wrestling? It's like, bro. Sell tickets, get pops to sell more tickets. I thought, like, when this whole thing started, that was the point of wrestling. And so, to me, like, that, how is that a bad moment? If ultimately what it gave all of the fans in attendance, which I was fucking one of them, having a fucking elite moment in wrestling, having an all-time moment in wrestling, like, of course, that's something that we're all gonna love and remember. All of the backlash from it, I just think it's so ridiculous. And then you look at the promo literally the next night on NXT, and I feel like that kind of should hopefully put to bed some of that. Obviously, I think people are still going to be upset about it, but I just feel like what we have to understand is with someone as good on the mic as The Rock, it would only take one promo for him to flip all that shit on its head and him to go back to the final boss if that's what he's going to do and if that's what makes sense to happen. But I also, this is a point I wanted to make. I talked to you about a bit about this earlier. We don't need The Rock. I don't know if that's like a hot take or whatever, but when you look at the roster right now, the amount of WrestleManias I could pitch you with different matches, different ways of mixing and matching the men's main event scene, there's like dozens of different matchups that all make sense and all could have a WrestleMania level feel to it with the proper build. The roster is so deep right now with talent. We're just in a blessed position as fans to where, and look, it's not like I'm saying having The Rock is a bad thing. I love when The Rock comes around. I fucking love that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't need it. We just don't.
We don't need the final boss.
We don't need him, man.
We don't need the final boss.
We don't need the final boss.
We don't need no final boss.
We don't need no final boss. As much as he's great to have,
a lot of motherfuckers are gonna hate you for that one.
I feel like it's the truth. If you look at how good so much of the talent is on the roster that's wrestling full time, we don't need The Rock at the moment. You know, that was something that 5-ish years ago, 10 years ago, you needed these legends to pop in because the roster was struggling, creative was struggling. We weren't able to sell as many tickets. We weren't having these big mainstream moments. But wrestling has hit a point where guys like The Rock just aren't necessary.
Tough.
Even as great as it's going to be to have Cena on his farewell tour, it's not like before he came back we were like, oh, we really need John Cena. This shit sucks. Like, it's just the icing on the cake that we also get to have John Cena in the midst of all this other great stuff. But truthfully, the roster is as good right now as it's probably ever been. And so I feel like we're good with or without. We're good with or without. And so I say all that to say all this controversy around the promo is unnecessary in my opinion. Because, yeah, it'd be great if he came out and did his whole final boss. Like, that would have been awesome. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been cool. But it's just like it wasn't necessary. Mm-hmm. We didn't need it. We're good. Mania 41 is going to be absolutely legendary whether or not The Rock appears on it as a wrestler. I truly, truly believe that. And it led into an absolutely elite match. Cinema, as the kids say. Roman versus Solo. Roman reclaiming his throne as the tribal chief. All the great moments with the interferences. Tama Tonga coming out. Yeah. Jacob hitting his crazy moveset that fucking just is mind-boggling to see in person. Phenomenal athlete. Getting to see Sammy and Jimmy come out to make the save. And then obviously everything with KO and Cody. It was just a fucking amazing, amazing match. Some huge 2-count pops throughout that match, as well as Seth and Punk, like a lot of finishers getting kicked out of and shit like that. Like, that was definitely just an overall, felt like it had that Mania level to it. Was just an insane match. Mm-hmm. Insane match. And then it all got the kind of cherry on top with The Rock coming out, taking the Ulafala from Paul Heyman and presenting it to Roman, and having that moment of The Rock acknowledging Roman Reigns in a way. You know, it felt like a very...
It was interesting to see
sentimental moment. And
interesting to see, bro.
Can I tell you what? I had flashbacks. I don't remember what year, Royal Rumble I think it was, where Roman wins and The Rock comes out to try and pop the crowd because I believe it was pretty well known at the time with creative that Roman winning the Rumble wasn't necessarily what the fans wanted to see. I want to say this is like 2016 maybe. And so to try and get the fans to pop for Roman, they brought out The Rock to celebrate it with Roman to try and like anoint him as the next guy of WWE. And there's this like iconic moment where The Rock is holding up Roman's hand in the middle of the ring and the crowd is booing and you can see The Rock's face like shocked at the boos. And so I'm having flashbacks to that moment as I was seeing them in the ring because now they're finally having that moment that they've been waiting for almost 10 years now.
It was out of nowhere though, because after like the whole story and everything.
It was out of nowhere for sure. That is something I'll give like that's a fair point. But it's also been a long time like, since The Rock appeared on...
The max I thought he would have done is just, like, probably came out and just seen Paul Heyman put it on him and he probably would have backed out or some shit like that.
I thought that if he was already going to come out, you might as well have him go the full... Do the whole thing and give Roman his moment.
The whole little promo for him and shit.
I go back to what I was saying earlier when we were talking about Undertaker coming out with Rhea. And we'll get into that a bit more in detail later. But as far as it being a moment for the casual fans or the lapsed fans who maybe don't quite understand the significance of Roman or don't quite know who Roman is, but obviously everyone knows The Rock.
Yeah.
And so they see The Rock come out in the beginning. He mentions the match. He kind of puts Roman and Solo over in the promo. And then they come out, have this great match. And then at the end of it, Roman gets the rub from The Rock. I think that's a way to signify to fans who are giving the product a try for the first time in a long time that, hey, you know who The Rock is. You see The Rock respecting this guy right here, so you should probably also pay attention to that guy. I think it was one of those moments. And so I think that's why it made sense to do it in that moment. On this show specifically, I think it did make sense. And so, I thought it was ultimately a great opening match. And for the people who are upset about The Rock not pulling out a rock bottom on Roman, like, I think you just got to understand what type of show this was and what the goal was. The goal was to put Roman over to an audience that doesn't know who Roman Reigns is but knows who The Rock is. And that's not us. And so for us, that might be like, oh, what the fuck? But we just got to understand what the show was supposed to be. And for that goal, I think they hit the ball out of the park. And still gave us a great match. Like, even for the diehards, I think we got a really entertaining Bloodline-style match. Like, that is the Bloodline PLE-style match that we're used to seeing. And we got it executed really well. So, yeah, I thought it was a great opening match for the first ever match on Raw on Netflix. I thought it was a great match.
Feeling.
Do you have any thoughts, any takes, any takeaways?
I mean, like I said, the only thing that was confusing at the end was just the whole fucking Rock coming out giving Go follow. But I guess I understand why they made the whole promo. He's a whole fucking almighty whatever, this and that, and their fucking family and shit. But yeah, man, it was a good match though. Honestly, I liked how Kevin Owens came out. That low-key shocked me. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, it surprised me as well. I
didn't expect that one. I was like, what the fuck? I thought that shit was cooked after that, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean, when he hit the stunner, yeah. No, that definitely... That's why, like, those 2 counts were insane.
And then, yeah, bro, honestly, that shit was a good-ass fucking first match, bro. And interesting, it's 2 SmackDown fools, but fuck it.
Wow, man, yeah.
Funny, man.
Transfer portal, bro.
They're all alone.
Yeah, they're in negotiations with Adam Pearce.
Okay.
Allegedly. Negotiations might fall through, but right now, they're in negotiations. Let's talk about John Cena. How did you feel about the promo?
Emotional as fuck, bro.
Obviously, yes.
Emotional as fuck, bro.
Heavy.
But I'm looking forward to see what he does in the Royal Rumble. I was disappointed. I saw a lot of teasers saying that he was going to have the fucking shaved hair again and shit like that. I was like, oh, no fucking way. But no, bro. Okay. I was like, all right, whatever. We'll take it though for right now. We'll see. We'll see once he's like full time wrestling again, supposedly.
I don't know if he's got everything up top to be able to pull that off these days with the way he's been looking. But yeah, I don't know.
Go to India, get that shit, get like pulled out and shit, do that surgery, bro.
It was definitely an emotional moment. I mean, that for a lot of us wrestling fans out there has meant a lot to us, of course. And so to be able to be a part of this moment as fans, to be able to celebrate one of our GOATs and send him off is like a really special thing. And I think it's really dope that he's giving us a chance to properly celebrate everything that he's meant to the industry. And I mean, just what a promo to be able to, first of all, set the expectations properly, because a lot of us as the Cena marks out there, I know that we've been hoping to see the Super Cena run, and I think he pretty clearly let us know that at least for now that's not likely to happen. And I like that they're trying to give the run a kind of element of realism to it. They're like, hey, I'm an older guy now, haven't been as active in the ring, so, you know, me just trying to show up and walk into a main event match with Gunther or Cody, like, it's just not going to happen. But there are these kind of lottery ticket ways that anyone can get a chance at any moment, including something like the Royal Rumble. And so I feel like that...
Bro said Money in the Bank. I'm like, bro, you're not going to be climbing the ladders.
I mean, honestly, can I tell you what? I think there's a chance that we do get a story like that where he gets down to like the final four in the Rumble but gets eliminated, gets down to the last two in Elimination Chamber but loses, you know, comes out to Mania, cuts a promo but doesn't have like a main event title match or anything like that. Just has like maybe a regular match.
Last Mania?
No, like he'll have a match at Mania, but like maybe not a title match like people have been hoping for. Like just a good match. Like of course they'll have to have him wrestle at Mania, but
that's crazy. They say he's not gonna have a title match at his last Mania.
I'm saying I could see them do a story where they kind of drag it out throughout the run, where it's like he gets close but comes up short.
That's too dragged though until Mania though.
I'm saying it could be more towards the end of the run. Like it might. I've seen some people saying potentially that last match is where they see him finally win the 17th title and then he retires as a champ. And then they just vacate the belt and move on from there. But like I'm not saying I necessarily think that's the best way to do it, because I do think that having Cena win the Rumble and win that title at Mania just makes so much sense. Because then from there, you can kind of have him drop the belt or keep it for the rest of the... however you want to do it, but start doing more of those just dream matches and make it more of a celebratory thing. I'm saying there's multiple ways you could approach this. If you want to do more of just the celebratory run, you put the belt on him early and get it out of the way and then just start bringing out all the fun matchups that we want to see. Or you make it a story throughout the whole year of Cena chasing this belt and then finally getting that moment at the end. I honestly think that could be a really fun story to kind of go on throughout the year. And not saying that he loses every match throughout. Like, obviously, you'll have him come out on some different Raw, SmackDowns, and shit like that. Have him win some matches here and there. But when it comes to those big, big moments, whether it be through interference or different things, like, I'm not trying to say you just constantly have the guy look shitty. But there are ways to protect people and still have them lose matches. I'm just saying that's an option that intrigues me. Especially the way that I saw him cut that first promo.
Say he's not, don't think I'm coming to squash motherfuckers.
Yeah, I think that could be an interesting way to approach this run, is having it be a bit more realistic and actually have him build up to that title win and make it feel really, really special. It's going to feel special regardless, don't get me wrong, but like I said, I just think that would be an interesting way to approach it. How do you feel about that idea? How would you feel if that's how they went?
That's a long build-up, bro. Until his last match and he retires. That's going to be crazy. I feel like a lot of fans are going to be upset about that, bro.
You think?
Yeah, they're going to be like, how come he's not going to be able to defend his title? He should at least defend his title before he goes. and like hand it off to someone else and shit like that. Basically, that'll be like the handoff and shit.
See, I feel like that last match, I don't know if I want to see him lose.
It should be that though.
I know that's like tradition in wrestling, but that doesn't always have to be the case. We just saw it last year with Sting in AEW. He won his final match. Now, everyone, that was like one of the matches of the year for a lot of people last year.
He said that's his final match. He's gonna come back in 3 years somehow.
Huh?
He says that's
I think that's it. He's an old motherfucker, dude. I don't know how much. I don't think he's got much in the tank, especially with the way creative's
be like Ric
going
Flair
over there.
and shit like that, still lacing up his boots and shit.
Yeah, Ric Flair's a junkie though. That's different.
Fucking Bronson.
I was gonna say that fool's out here trying to beef it with Bronson. He's gonna die.
This was hey Triple H, get your guy, bro.
Crazy ass. But fucking back to the guy, back to the real GOAT who's gonna dethrone Flair. See, that's why this is such a big thing, is because fucking right now it's Flair. It's like, ooh, has to be Cena.
Ooh.
Has to be Cena. Has to be Cena. And so I disagree that I don't think people will be upset if that's how they play it out, because I think people will appreciate the journey, and when that final match happens, this is what you got to understand. People might get a little bit pissed off in the build up to the last match of, oh, how come Cena hasn't got the last title yet? Is Cena going to win the last title? Blah, 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 blah. But then if they make that last match really slap, and he wins the title in that final match in a true banger, and it like really hits hard, like that will go down as such a classic. People will be fucking bawling. It will be such a legendary moment that it will all it'll be like how Cody not winning at 39 was such a massive deal after 39, and people thought that Cody might be buried and fucking the story's over, blah 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 blah. Think about how we were feeling after WrestleMania 40. Yes, did that take a long time? Fuck yeah. But that's kind of where we're at with WWE storytelling. Sometimes it takes a while, but when we get there, it's usually really good. I think it could work. I'm not sure if that's what I'm advocating for, because I do still think ultimately, if you put a gun to my fucking head, metaphorically speaking, of course, I would say Rumble win, do it, fuck it. WrestleMania, have him beat Gunther, fuck it. And then have him go on just an actually elite title run. The champ is here, let's do that whole thing again, blah, blah, blah. And then, honestly, you could even have him drop the belt at some point towards the end of the run, but then have him still win that last match for the title or not for the title at that point. I could also see that being a very strong option that gives a lot of fan service throughout. And, like, I would love to see Cena come out with the title and do the, like, Doctor of Thugonomics shit. Like, we wouldn't be able to get those moments if he wins the title up until the, like, the very last match. So I could see that other side of it as well. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a couple different ways they could play this out, and I think it would still be interesting regardless. When you got a guy as fucking good as Cena, there's so many different ways you can make it work for me. And I'm still going to mark out for it because I fucking love John Cena. So, like, to me, you could almost do no wrong. As long as he does at some point win the 17th title. Because now you've teased it from day one. That, I guess I will say this, that's like the one standard I'm going to force onto Triple H and creative right now. If you teased it on the very first day of the Farewell Tour, it's gotta happen now. Like, I don't want to hear any ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's gotta happen. You better give me that record-breaking win.
The Undisputed or the World Heavyweight?
I guess I've just been saying Gunther because that feels like a more natural Cena feud.
Yeah.
However, I mean, what an honor for Cody to be able to drop the belt to someone like Cena. Like, honestly, you're in a fucking win-win. Personally, I'm fine with either. I really am fine with either. Like, I don't have too strong of a preference either way. It's literally just that Gunther feels like a more natural Cena feud because of the way that he's such a great heel, and I feel like that'd be such a great matchup. But if you want to pull out one of the fucking biggest face versus face matches it would be on some. It would be on some prime, like when Rock vs. Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would have that energy to it, I think, genuinely.
That would be crazy as well.
So if you want to pull out, honestly, yeah, I'm on board for that as well. If you want to go night 2 main event, Cena versus Cody, sign me up. Sign me up.
That's crazy.
I think that'd be fire.
That's crazy.
I think that'd be fire. I like it. I like it.
What would you do if Bro pulls out the spinner belt the Monday Night Raw after?
What do you think? What do you think? Fucking bust. Metaphorically. Fucking, I wish. When I was a kid, when I first bought this, when my mom first bought it for me, I was like 10. I used to think if there was a way where I could like cut with like a saw around the edges and somehow like put a screw in the back or some shit and yell so I could fucking spin that bitch. Nah. One day, I swear to God, one day when I got some bread, I ain't even want all the belts because they so expensive.
I can't believe you don't have the spinner one though.
But this one, yeah, like that's the one. Like for the kid in me, I feel like I need.
There's a kid's version with the spinner.
I don't. This was.
I remember that shit. Cause that shit fucking once it got older, that shit would like go fucking start creaking and shit like that.
See, it's probably better I don't have that one now because this is like 12, 13 years old.
That shit stayed good, bro.
Yeah, no, this shit's still pretty good quality. Shout out to the Fed, man. Taking care of me.
That's fucking wild. We'll just get the spinning U.S. championship belt at this point.
Bro, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell anybody, but there would be signs. Y'all would know. Y'all would know. Y'all would know. Hey, man. If the pod ever blows up, we start getting some sponsorships on this bitch.
This is my house now.
It's gonna be the first thing I'm gonna do, boy. This whole wall gonna be flooded. Alright, yeah. One day, man. One day. Gotta keep grinding.
That's hilarious.
This next match we're gonna get into is truly one of the highlights of the night. Rhea defeating Liv.
Crazy match.
Felt like a moment that just we had been waiting for so long.
Crazy match.
And I know there's a lot of the online wrestling fan base that has felt like this feud has been like really dragged out.
But also
and like underwhelming. I'm not in that camp. I felt like it's been a really good feud, and I do feel like it was getting to the point where it needed to be wrapped up, but I don't feel like it was necessarily dragged out.
So do you think this is the ending of the Liv and Rhea feud?
100%. 100% this is the ending. I can guarantee it. And I'm so confident in that because we got to see Rhea hit that riptide on Dom that we had been waiting to see literally since SummerSlam. We have been waiting for that moment. She's tried multiple times. He's gotten out of it. Liv has helped him. He slipped out of it. She finally got to have that moment. And so to me, that definitely put like the stamp that this feud is over. I do think that it needed to end. It needed to be the time where the feud was ending because it would have gotten to a point after a while where I think it would have gotten redundant. I think they hit the nail on the head with the timing. I feel like this was the right moment to just put a bow on it. Let's finish this story. It was just all really, really well executed, and I felt like they put the cherry on top by having The Undertaker come out. Because I felt like it was one of those moments. This is a theme that we've touched on throughout our previous segments, if people haven't seen the other segments where we talked about the show. Mm-hmm. But this was a show for the casual viewer, someone who isn't the biggest wrestling fan, to try and get them hooked on something that they maybe aren't as tuned into. Most people know who The Undertaker is. They have some sort of idea that he's a big deal. And so seeing The Undertaker come out and be next to this star that maybe a lot of people haven't seen before, it just shows the audience like, hey, you need to know that Rhea Ripley's a big deal. Here she is next to one of our biggest stars that we've literally ever had.
Doing the fucking
it just makes her look like such a massive star, which she is. But to the casual fans, like I said, the lapsed fans, whatever, there are people out there that might have been watching that show that wouldn't have known that. Well, now they do because of a moment like that. And so I felt like it was a really great match, really physical match that it needed to be for Rhea to finally be able to walk away from Liv and say, I beat your ass. I beat Dom's ass. I got my title back.
And Undertaker said, you're knighted.
That's it. There's nothing more. Yeah, like I'm her. That was her. I'm her moment. And now I feel like we're into a dominant Rhea title run that I don't think there's even a chance of her dropping the belt until Mania. And then even then, we'll see. But I think that
we're going an interesting route with Rhea now.
Well, I just think that she's gonna be one of the like pillars of this Netflix era going forward. In the women's division especially, she's just a guaranteed draw at this point.
She's staying babyface or is she turning heel?
No, she's staying face for a long time because she's just so over. And so I feel like you have to...
not even face like anti-hero type of shit.
Exactly. Like it's not even like she's your typical stereotypical babyface. She's your more edgy, cool babyface. And it's perfect. Like she is a phenomenal character that connects with so many different people, draws so many people into wrestling, and gives wrestling a superstar face on the woman's side that it's something that we need at this moment coming into the Netflix era. And there's other people who could have been in that role. It's not to discredit anyone else on the women's side of things. It's just that at this moment, she is the top of the mountain, and this was a perfect way to highlight that for your more casual fans and to let her know that this is one of the biggest stars we have. You know what I mean? Honestly, you could really take gender out of it. Like, it's just, she is one of the biggest stars, period, in wrestling right now. And I definitely think that this was a perfect way to give her that moment. Overall, how are you feeling on the match?
It was a really good match, bro. The thing that surprised me, she did it all on her own, bro. No interference by Damian Priest until the end.
No help.
No. Literally did it all by herself. That's why it was like, it's interesting that you say it's at the end, but at the same time, I agree with you because she literally did it all by herself. Because I feel like she would have got help from Damian Priest. Would have been like, oh, I didn't get the fucking my leg back fully and shit.
What argument could Liv make, and what else would Rhea want? You know? So what do you think, what do you want to see from Rhea going forward?
Ooh.
Do you want to see a dominant title run? Or do you want to see her struggling a bit more? Like you mentioned, even a heel turn. Is that something you want to see?
Not a heel turn, no. But I was just interested in your opinion on that. But no, not a heel turn. Honestly, bruh, like a good dominant run, but like she struggles sometimes and she literally has no hope type of shit. It's literally her against the whole locker room basically at this point and shit. So it's interesting how they're gonna take that and shit like that. I feel like she's gonna have a good dominant run, but she's gonna be like struggling a few times because she's gonna have a lot of people on her back and shit.
Okay. If you had to guess, if I had to put you on the spot, when did she drop the belt?
Rumble.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No. Will you bet me money on that?
Yeah.
I'll take your money.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
How much you want to do?
Well, how much can I take? Because it's not going to happen.
This was a gambling
Rumble?
Chat. This was a gambling. Yeah, Rumble.
Bro, you're wild. It's not going to happen. Like I said, the earliest possible time is Mania.
So you think right now she's just going to be chilling the whole time?
Yes.
They're not doing shit.
I think if anyone big comes back, like, bro, you're struggling.
I know for real.
I think if anyone big comes back, like, how people have been expecting with Becky, like, that's pretty heavily rumored. I think that's going to happen soon. She'll come back, but enter the Rumble and win the Rumble and then face her in Mania. It's not, bruh. It'll be some filler feud at the Rumble, guarantee you. She'll like stuff Io or some shit. You know what I mean? Which like, rip. It sucks because I'm a Io fan. I think personally she's the best women's wrestler in ring, on the roster. That's just my opinion. But like that's someone like she'll put on a banger match, beat Io, and then just move on to Mania for her actual feud against Becky or some shit. But there's no fucking way she drops that belt at the Rumble. You're crazy for predicting that.
We'll see.
We'll see, I guess. Like if you would have at least said Mania, I could respect it. My honest prediction is SummerSlam. I think wherever they put her, she'll retain, and I think she'll lose again at SummerSlam.
Oh shit!
She's gonna become Mrs. Fuck SummerSlam. I could just see it. I don't know.
Okay.
I could, if not, then Survivor Series. Like it won't be until another one of the big PLEs, in my opinion, and it won't be the Rumble. So the only possible times this year, in my opinion, would be either Mania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam.
I know it's an early prediction, but who do you think she might drop it to? I know it's hella early. She just won it. She's gonna go on a dominant run or whatever. But who do you think she's gonna drop it to?
I don't think she's gonna drop it to Becky. I just don't know why. I just don't think so. Damn. Ooh. Oh, I got a hot one. A hot, spicy take. Ooh, banger take. Roxanne Perez. Love it. Love it.
The NXT,
Love it.
the one who just lost right now?
Roxanne Perez. Oh, that's spicy.
How?
She'll get called up.
And she wouldn't get that push.
Dude, she was the women's champ for like almost a year on NXT. And a stacked women's roster. And she's good, dude. She's really good. Like, in-ring work is really, really good. You think she's going to get a push to Raw
really good in this next year and get a challenge to Rhea Ripley to win the title against her?
Who's the women's champion on SmackDown, by the way?
Fucking Tiffany Stratton.
Who was doing what NXT a year ago?
But she won the Money in the Bank, though.
Boys. Did I not cook right now? I think I cooked.
But she won
because you put me on the spot. You put me on the spot, and I was really thinking like.
But no, but you think no, but hold up. You think she's gonna get the same like type of pop and push that Tiffany Stratton got? You really think so?
She's good, dude.
She's good. I've seen her, but you think she's gonna get that same push, same pop, as Tiffany? Fucking Tiffy time, bro.
Why not? Promos, honestly, might be better than Tiffany. In-ring work, I think they're fairly similar. Because they're different style. Like, Tiffy's a little bit more high flyer, Roxanne a bit more technical. But I'd say both roughly the same level of entertaining in-ring. I think Roxanne might be a better promo. It's a spicy one. I know that was a spicy one. I came in hot, but you gave me a fucking, you put me on the spot. I'm putting a spicy take right back on your plate, brother. I could see it.
That's crazy.
And when it happens, I'm gonna feel so vindicated. I'm gonna feel great.
This was gonna put me on the writing staff right now.
Let me cook, bro. The prodigy. I can see it, dude. I can see it. Actually, before we wrap it, I was gonna ask you if you had any final thoughts, but this is actually something I was also interested in. I just asked you what you see going forward for Rhea. I'm almost more interested to hear what you think happens going forward for Liv, because I think she was kind of
cooking, bro.
See, I was gonna say a little reliant on the Rhea feud to maintain her heat as a heel. I'm wondering now, what does Liv do as a heel, as this character? Because now she's got Dom, but she doesn't have the belt. So now what? And she's not getting the belt anytime soon.
I feel they might push her for the Intercontinental probably out there.
Doesn't that feel like such a step back though, from where she was just at? Like that's rough.
She's on Raw, unfortunately, at this point. And if you say it's the end, it's the end, bro. Unless she tries to be like, oh, I'm gonna go.
Can I tell you why that sucks?
Unless right now.
Can I tell you why that sucks?
Alright, unless right now her story is probably gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna get a good spot in the Rumble to get my fucking revenge or whatever. She's not gonna focus on Rhea.
I like that. Right? I like a Rumble. But she's I like Liv as a potential Rumble winner.
And she's like, I'm gonna push for a good spot.
And then like, maybe.
It might be her, Raquel, like eliminating other females.
Liv and Tiffany?
We'll see. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe she might challenge Rhea again. Get that. Because they're what? Rhea's 2 for 3 and no wait 2 for 4 and they're 2 for she's for 2 for 4.
You saying Liv versus Rhea?
Yeah, to like settle the score and shit. Because they're like they win half of their matches and shit to each other.
But there was so much interference and other shit. Like it's not like Liv's wins ever held any real weight.
But still,
like
she put on a good match, bro.
This win that Rhea got over Liv was so dominant. It's like, bro, that's over.
No, Liv put a good match.
No, bro, Rhea beat the fucking shit out of her and beat the shit out of her man. It's over, bro. I love my girl. I love her to death. But if she was ever beefing with another female, and that female not only pieced her up, but then pieced me up. It's over. I'm gonna tell my girl, baby, I love you. You gotta leave that crazy bitch alone. The fuck? She beat my ass. And your ass. We can't do shit. We can't do nothing.
Unless you want to shoot her.
Like, no, literally. Like, I don't know what you want to do with this. Do you want to change your life? You want to become a new person? No? Then let's leave it alone. Like, it is what it is. Just gotta chalk that one.
That's wild.
I feel like Liv gotta chalk that shit. Unless she's going full Brian Pillman and she's about to up the fucking strap, I think she's got to chalk that shit.
She's going to get with Braun Strowman now.
That would be funny if she dumped Dom and got with fucking Braun Strowman.
I mean, Braun Breaker, fuck it.
Either way, either one would work. Like, just tries to get with the dominant. That'd be funny. But no, I don't see that either. I think Liv Dom maintains being a thing for a while. Because I don't think you break all of that up at once. But that's why I'm saying, where does Liv, Dom, and Raquel go from here is fascinating to me. I like what you're saying about a push in the Rumble. And this is why I say that. I wanted to make this point earlier while you were talking. I didn't want to cut you off, though. I would be really upset to see a wrestler, a talent, that just had such a phenomenal 2024 and elevated herself from like mid-card tag team obscurity, which is where Liv Morgan started the year, to the end of the year, one of the top heels in the women's division, literally the champion at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I would hate to see her go from that to like now back into the mid-card in the IC title run, which like obviously the IC title, they're trying to give it prestige and everything, but I just feel like it would be such a letdown. It would be kind of an indictment against the women's division in a way where it's like if you don't carry one of the top belts, they don't know how to book a top feud, which is unfortunate to me because look at what the main event on Raw was this last show. It had nothing to do with the belt. Had nothing to do with the championship. What was one of the best matches of 2024? CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Had nothing to do with the belt. They have demonstrated multiple occasions in the men's division to be able to book feuds that feel like main event high level feuds that don't need to have one of these. I would like to see that in the women's division, and I think that Liv Morgan is a compelling enough character to where you could pull that off, but you gotta actually put the time and investment into it. Now, hopefully with a Netflix where you've got a little bit more time to work with, you could be a bit more creative with your storytelling. I would love to see where they take it, but I guess what I'm trying to say is this. I'm on the watch of Liv Morgan in the sense that, because like in the kayfabe sense, I love booing her. I think she's a great heel. So I'm not like on her watch as like, oh, I'm a fan. Fuck that. Boo Liv forever. But I'm gonna be very curious to see how they handle her creative coming out of this feud, because I think it's gonna be a real letdown just to the whole roster, if it's like, hey, you could bust your ass and become one of the top stars in the company, win a championship, but fall right back down to the mid card. You know what I mean? Like, I would hate to see that happen to her. And so I would love to see a good push just as a message to show that, like, hey, if you do this great work, you'll be rewarded for it. But it's tough, though.
Honestly, I feel part of her journey, even though you say, oh, mid-card, whatever, no. I feel like a big part of her journey, probably the first thing she's probably going to do is probably win the tag team titles with Raquel.
I wouldn't hate that.
Because he done that before she got injured or whatever.
Nah, yeah,
and shit like that.
When I first started watching wrestling again after taking a hiatus from it, that was what Liv Morgan was doing, was tagging with Raquel Rodriguez. And so I remember that.
So that be her first step to, like, oh, but then, like, also her main goal is, like, to get back to the Rumble and
See,
shit.
something like that I wouldn't mind, and that's because, in my opinion, like, Bianca and Jade have done a great job of elevating the women's tag division.
Crazy story shit, we might get a turn. Fucking she might turn on Raquel and eliminate her or some shit like that.
I think something like that could be interesting. I just hope that they find a way to continue to push Liv into main events, into PLEs and stuff like that, because it's what she deserves to have right now. Like, she's put herself into that position 100%. And so I'm curious to see what happens going forward, but obviously we'll just have to wait and see.
Never know, bro.
Don't bury Liv.
That's your hashtag? Hashtag don't bury Liv?
Hashtag don't bury Liv. Another one of the highlights of the night for the Netflix Raw debut was definitely the Jey Uso entrance. He's kind of become known for these entrances at these big shows. Like, it's kind of a thing now.
Big no now.
And they definitely hit it out of the park this time. Obviously, the camera cuts to Travis Scott. Fiend is bumping.
Bro's
Crowd's going crazy. And bro is chiefing on a fat spliff.
Fiend.
And it honestly ended up being one of the most viral moments of the night. I think if you had to say, like, the biggest moments of the night, it's literally Hogan getting booed and Travis Scott smoking a spliff in front of Jey Uso. I feel like those are the two biggest moments I've seen people who, like, aren't wrestling fans talking about on Twitter and shit. I don't know if you would agree with that, but that was a huge moment. In the way that they just lean into it, I love it. I love this modern era where Triple H isn't such a fucking stickler about the rules and everyone has to play by the boss's rules or else you get buried. Like, I don't know if you remember the press conference that Jay and Cody had a while back where they were... Yeah. And it's another one of those moments here with Jay where it's like he's able to be a bit more loose with it and he's joking about it on the post show and Triple H joking about it in the press conference.
Thankfully, he said no.
Exactly. Like, it's great to see them leaning into that stuff. And it's just funny. It's entertaining. And like, the crowd popped hard when Travis hit the spliff, which was pretty funny. Like, when the puff of smoke comes out, you can hear the crowd like, oh, like,
just be us.
It's just hilarious. And then the match itself was also really entertaining. Like, it was super fast-paced. I loved the action from the beginning. It was super, I mean...
Do you agree with people? People are saying it's lame. The ending was lame. Just a quick pin, cheap pin for Jey Uso.
So let me push back on that, and I'll tell you why. We have seen over the last year that Drew McIntyre does his best work when he has been fucked over, screwed over, made a mistake, has done something embarrassing. That has been the moments that have pushed Drew McIntyre to his most angry, to his most psycho, and that has been the moments where Drew McIntyre has ended up being the most entertaining. And so I think that Drew is going to find different things to blame, because he never blames himself, find different excuses, and ultimately get more and more pissed off at the bloodline and at the embarrassment. And I think that eventually, hopefully sometime soon, maybe Saturday night's main event or the Royal Rumble, he'll get another crack at Jay, because I definitely don't think this is the last match because of the ending. And when he gets another shot at Jay, I think he gets a win in a much more dominant, brutal fashion. Multiple claymores, maybe some weapons getting involved, whatever it is. I think building up Jey Uso as this top-level babyface is a big win, but then you can use that to then make Drew McIntyre destroying him feel even more impactful in the long run, if that makes sense. And so I feel like this was a match that the finish right now might have been frustrating, and I get it. Even in the arena when I was there, I was like, holy shit, like, wow, like a roll-up, that's crazy. I honestly was waiting for him to kick it too. When he goes for the 1, 2, 3, it's like, what the fuck is happening? But I think that what that finish is going to give us going forward from Drew is going to make it work. I guess that's what I would say. Like, in a vacuum, is it the best finish? No. But, and if it was anyone except Drew McIntyre, I'd probably be more upset about it. But because it's Drew specifically, I feel like it's going to build towards something so much more epic. And so I'm going to be willing to sit back and let Papa H cook on this one in particular, because I do think that the ending for Drew McIntyre will be huge. So I don't know. I felt like that was a great way to push Drew further into that madness. And it also gives Jay a huge moment on that big debut episode where all the casual eyes are watching. You got the big Travis Scott moment. I can't imagine how many people tuned in just because Travis was there, you know? Like, he has such a huge fan base. And just the people who would have thought, oh, fuck it, I'll go see what Travis is doing on here. This is cool. And then from there, like, imagine the guy that comes out with Travis Scott then goes on to lose. You know what I mean? Like, all the casuals are going to look at this dude like he's a fucking clown. And so it gives Jay that big moment that I feel like ultimately Jay needs, because let's be real, the main event Jey Uso experiment has been an up and down thing. Like, at times, it's worked really well, and we've had those great moments like him winning the IC title, him coming out last at Survivor Series and having that big moment. Like, there's been times where he has felt like the true main event Jey Uso, but then there's been other times where it's also fell a little short. And he's been mid-card Jey Uso, you know? And so I think it's big for him to have these moments in these big mainstream, you know, where all the eyes are on the product. Let's make Jey Uso look like the star that he's supposed to be, to let people know that it's not just a gimmick. He is main event Jey Uso. I like it. I think that it accomplished a lot of things. I think that, you know, let's be real. I've been open about it. I think that Jey Uso technically not the, you know, he's not Daniel Bryan. You know, Bryan Danielson, I guess now, if I want to be accurate. You know, like, if we're just being honest, Jay's not the best technical wrestler. But I don't think that that necessarily has to mean the main event gimmick can't work. Like, this is WWE. This is the home of sports entertainment. The greatest of all time, arguably, is John Cena or fucking Hulk Hogan or The Rock. Like, none of those guys are elite technical wrestlers either, if we're just being honest. Roman's not an elite technical wrestler. You don't have to be to succeed in WWE. It's a different type of promotion. And I think the things that Jey Uso does to succeed work really well. And this was a great way to highlight a lot of those things. Like, that entrance was one of the biggest moments of the night. And it highlighted just how big of a star that Jay is, for sure. So, yeah. I don't know. I think it was a match that delivered on what it needed to overall. Yeah, man. I don't know. Do you have any final thoughts on Jay versus Drew?
Drew is definitely going to get his get back. And that's going to be hard, bro. I was going to probably fuck his ass up, bro.
Absolutely. What do you think for Jay going forward?
We'll see. Hopefully he doesn't get injured after whatever Drew does to him, because I'm pretty sure Drew is going to fucking try to fuck him up again and shit.
Drew's going to put him through some shit. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens after that, bro. If he doesn't get injured, hopefully, who knows? Maybe he starts getting to a little Royal Rumble push too. Shit like that.
Can I ask you something interesting? This is where I'll leave it. This is my last question for you on this match. But where do you see Jay fitting into Mania?
Ooh.
Because I think Drew has a couple natural points that make sense with the way he's feuding with the Bloodline right now. I think Jay is a lot more up in the air. Where do you see Jay landing at Mania?
Intercontinental title, probably.
Hmm.
He might lose, but like, it might be some type of shit where it's like a 4-way or some shit, like how they've been doing like last Manias and shit for that title.
I feel like that is a cheap but effective way to get a lot of people on the card who they want to get on the card but don't know how to get on to the Mania card. And so they're like, fuck it, let's throw them into the some
fucking fatal 4-way or some
shit. Yeah. Okay. I guess it just feels like a bit of a sidestep because he already won it and dropped it, but I guess the run was so short with it, he could go back for more unfinished business. Alright. Good answer. It's just I don't love it, but then it's also like, I got nothing better, so fuck. Like, I feel like you might have the best answer.
That's what they've been doing for those titles.
Yeah.
Besides,
it just sucks that they missed the mark last year, because that's probably the best Mania match Jay's ever gonna get, is Jay versus Jimmy, brother versus brother.
But no title.
And it just sucked.
No title.
So fucking bad.
No title.
Doesn't need a title. It's brother versus brother. It's so much bigger than a belt. It should have been a show-stealing match.
Besides, honestly, the best highlight was fucking when they came out for the Cody and Roman match, but they fucking I forgot.
Which is depressing. Which is so depressing. Like, it should have been
their match.
Such a great match. Ugh. I just feel bad for him. Because yeah, man. God. Brutal. I hope one day... I hope it's us. I hope someone gets to interview them on, like, what happened. And not on some, like, oh, you guys suck. On some, like, bro, like, we're all fans. Like, we wanted to see a banger. Like, why didn't a banger happen type of shit.
It was a good match.
Because I know they know.
You're underrating it a little bit, but yeah, I feel what you're saying.
No, bro, it was so disappointing. I think for a lot of people, that was the worst match of the year last year. For me, it probably was. That was bad, bro. Just because it was so... underwhelming. Like, fuck, man. I don't know if you've ever seen...
Have you rewatched it or no?
Huh?
Have you rewatched it or no?
Rewatched it? No, I haven't. It was just so many super kicks. I can't, bro. Man.
Super kick.
Fuck.
Super kick. Check out some of the super kick.
Thighs must have been red as hell after the match. Slapping the shit out of the motherfuckers over and over. Anyways. Okay. I was just curious to see where you saw Jay going. Because it's an interesting path he's on right now.
Day one-ish, bro.
I wanted to inhale it. He didn't let me inhale it, though.
I smelt it, though. I smelt it.
Bro, Jay is so funny, bro. He's so funny. That's why it's like, when I say, like, oh, he's not the best, like, in-ring tech, it's like, it doesn't fucking matter. He's so charismatic. He's so good. He's just so fucking entertaining. So good. Love him to death. Absolutely love him. So as I was going through the recap on the website, trying to make sure I had everything in the right order with the different promos and matches and everything, I went through it, set up the topic list, and then I realized we don't have anything about Hogan in here. So if you go to the WWE website, on their official results, they do this every week. I use it for our show. They do like a little article covering every match, every promo, just giving you a brief little recap of what happened. They completely ignore the fact that Hulk Hogan appeared on this show. Like, they just don't mention it. It's not on the website.
It was a failure.
To me, that just shows they know, dude. Like, they...
And people who are saying, oh, they're making it political, are the ones making it political. So that's the unfortunate part, too, so...
I mean, there's a lot to unpack with that side of things. I mean, we could just quickly get into that. Because one thing I have seen is that I feel like a lot of people online are, like, scared to talk about it. And it's like, we could just be honest about this shit, bro. Like,
he's just a piece of shit, bro. He's just a fucking bad human being, bro.
It's literally, bro, like, the simplest way to explain it is that The Undertaker was one of the most open supporters of Donald Trump throughout the whole election, having him on his podcast, doing a whole bunch of shit with him. And he got one of the biggest pops of the night in the same city that's apparently so liberal that they can't clap for anybody that supported Trump. It's like, dude, I don't know if you know, but it's really not about that. Because I think most people, myself included, I don't really go to wrestling and think about politics. It's not on my mind as I'm watching a wrestling show. That's one of the things about wrestling that I really enjoy. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that's impossible to ignore, as you said, is just someone who is a downright shitty person. And when we have seen and unfortunately heard you say some of the most terrible things that a person could say, I'm sorry, bro, but, like, you lose your cool pass. Like, no one fucks with you anymore. Like, yes, we can all understand that, oh, he's such a great legend. Don't you guys know none of you would be there if it wasn't for him? Like, yeah, all that can be true.
Insert the clips right here.
Nah, but it's... Like, there's been plenty of people trying to defend it because of, like, oh, well, isn't Hulk a legend still? Like, you people don't appreciate it. It's like, dude, like... It's not about that, bro. Like, just because this fool was a huge wrestler in the 80s and 90s and meant a lot to the business at one point doesn't excuse all of his actions outside of the ring and mean that we're just gonna pop for this fool whenever they wheel his old ass out there. Like, I'm sorry, but no. Like, it was unbelievably satisfying to be a part of the crowd that booed the fuck out of this fool. And hopefully, I pray, will be a part of the last ever WWE crowd that had to witness the Hulkster, dude. Like, at this point, I think we just gotta bury it. We gotta put it away. We gotta understand that this is not what the modern audience wants to see. And it's only going to ever be a negative. And I think one of the biggest L's of the night, I guess, to put it like that, is the fact that now a lot of the mainstream coverage that I've seen talking about the night is covering the fact that they brought out Hulk Hogan and he got all this negative reception, and people are kind of making fun of wrestling in some circles, and it should not have been that type of a night in any way, shape, or form. Like, definitely a massive misstep on Triple H's part to let that shit slide because, bro, now you got people making fun of wrestling, acting like we're some goofy, old-timey fucking shtick. And it's like, dude, like, all the fans know that shit's played out. We don't want to see this for anymore, but you're trying to force feed it to us. Like, that shit was embarrassing. As a wrestling fan, it was embarrassing.
That would have been like Aaron Hernandez getting out of jail and fucking celebrating him and shit like that. Be like, hey, he came out, everything good and shit like that.
I mean, if he was still...
That's what I'm saying. If he was alive and got out of jail and shit like that.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Like, you can't put certain people on a pedestal once they've crossed certain lines. And obviously, what that fool said isn't equivalent to murder. But the point is that once you become such a shitty person, at some point we just need to let it go. We just need to let it go. And it's really unfortunate that they made such a massive misstep in such a huge moment.
Stupid as fuck.
And I think they gotta pay Stone Cold his money, man. Because they've tried to avoid it. They got away with it at WrestleMania 40. They got to bring out The Undertaker instead, and it still worked. It was still a phenomenal match. It was just amazing. You couldn't have made it better. Honestly, to me, having Stone Cold or The Undertaker, to me, doesn't even make that much of a difference. It was still a 10 out of 10 moment. But the second time, they tried to cheap out, not pay the man, go over and pivot, and look what happened. You fucked up. So I think at this point, y'all gotta accept that, hey, pay the motherfucker, give him what he deserves, and let's bring him out. And let's, for sure, never fucking bring out the Hulkster ever again. It's over. It's over, man.
Oh, yeah.
let me ask you this. Do you think we ever see Hulk Hogan on WWE programming again in his life?
No.
Really?
Not for the foreseeable future.
I'm saying ever in his life.
Ever
Do you think we'll ever see him again?
No. After that major failure, if they do, what are they trying to do? Why?
I kind of agree with you. I would hope that there is enough intelligence in the modern day creative that they would understand that the message was clear and we could leave him behind and move on. But yeah, that was my thoughts on the Hulkster, man. What a fucking moment.
Shit, bro.
What a fucking moment. Punk versus Seth was an instant classic in my opinion. I felt like the hype was really turned up heavy over the last couple weeks on Raw leading up to this moment. And it truly delivered on all of the hype. And really, even outside of the promos, just as wrestling fans, all of us marks online were getting so hyped up for this shit because the history between these two guys is so real. There's so much behind it that this felt like a match that had literally dream match levels of hype around it. And I definitely feel like it delivered. Like, just the amount of jaw-dropping moments throughout this match. I lost my shit when Rollins pulled out the GTS and then Punk hits him back with the stomp.
Pedigree on the fucking table and
shit. The pedigree on the table. That was fucking ridiculous. And the fact that those were all getting 2 counts throughout was like just absolutely fucking unreal. The double GTS spot at the end was so beautifully, like, I don't know. I'm assuming that was choreographed out beforehand because it all just laid out so perfectly. It was like, it felt like a moment out of a movie. It was just so perfect. I'm sure you probably saw the promo from Punk after the fact as well. Like, just so good. Like, to me, that was CM Punk at his very best. That's the CM Punk that we've seen since his days at Ring of Honor, all the way through till now.
Bro. It's just a number. All he knows he's number 1, bro.
It was a classic CM Punk match in every way. And Seth Rollins is honestly one of the most selfless superstars on the roster today because he is so willing to put so much other talent over and does so much for the roster. Put his fucking body through hell over the last like year or so. On like, dude, he might be one of the most underrated wrestlers in the modern era. Like, he's truly such a gift to all of us as wrestling fans, and that true spectacle. We were talking about it a bit before off camera, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I felt like that had Shawn versus Brett levels of like just pure amazing wrestling,
emotion, fucking impact, fucking
exact. And that's the other element to it, is that we knew in real life that Shawn and Brett did not, like, they were not fond of each other, and so that was something that added that extra element of oomph to those matches. And this had all of that as well, all of the phenomenal wrestling, all of the phenomenal big moments. It was just so good. And I mean, what a way to kick off the Netflix era with the main event. Honestly,
that was missing fucking for CM Punk to hit the sharpshooter, and I would fucking.
I mean, if you really wanted to go hard with that, exactly, but it didn't even need it, honestly. Like, it was just such a great match, and I feel like I said, to kick off the Raw on Netflix era with a main event like that truly felt like a WrestleMania caliber match. I mean, it just, to me, gives so much credit to the roster because it was a match that didn't need any of the legend appearances or any of that other extra pizzazz that they were throwing throughout the show. Like, this just got to be a wrestling match, and a fucking great one, and a story told between two of the greatest wrestlers that we have in this era today. It was fucking beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I don't know. I don't know if you have anything else that you want to add on with it.
Okay, before we even started talking, I said a 10 out of 10 match.
5 stars. Fuck Dave Meltzer. I don't give a fuck what he says.
What did you say?
I don't know. But wasn't in the Tokyo Dome, so. I just, man. I'm a massive mark for both of these dudes, so I was always going to love this match. Like, I'm not ashamed to admit that, but I don't know how you could watch that if you're a wrestling fan and not just feel like, wow. Fucking wow.
Perfection, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
To the stomps, to the GTS, to the fucking... Just literally everything, bro.
So can I ask you this one final question before we move off of this match? What do you want to see going forward from the two of them? Do you want to see this feud continue to play out?
I feel like Seth's gonna turn like a more like serious type of character instead of being the fucking like...
So I agree that this feud is definitely going to continue. I feel like, I don't know, I don't think you watched the full press conference, but Punk pretty openly kind of said that it doesn't feel like Seth is going to be going anywhere anytime soon. Like, it feels like this is going to continue. So, do you think Seth has to turn heel?
Probably. I don't know if he's going to turn fully heel, but he's going to be like more serious type of like Seth Rollins and shit.
I wonder if Seth maybe tries to go down a similar path that we've seen like Drew and Kevin Owens take recently, where they didn't turn heel for like shitty reasons, but they've definitely turned heel. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see. And it's not like either of those guys get booed necessarily. Like, it's not like they're Dominic Mysterio.
I'm not saying he's gonna turn fully heel because like, bro, he's one of the faces on Raw.
Yeah. That's why it is hard to see him turning fully heel. However, it's hard to see this feud continuing, like you said, without him leaning a bit more into that like serious side of himself. Because the problem that he's having is that Punk is so fucking over. We love CM Punk. And so I don't know how you compete with that. I feel like he has to kind of accept that Punk's always going to get just that bigger pop. And he might have to lean into a bit more heelish tendencies if it is just for this feud. But I think that is maybe the direction. I do think Seth goes... I'll disagree with you a bit where you say a bit more serious. I'm going to say a bit more dark. I think we're going to see a bit of a darker Seth. I'm not sure if it's going to be full heel, but I think Seth is going to be more violent. His promos are going to be more harsh. I think Seth is going to get Drewish and KO-ish. I'm not going to lie to you.
Matt Riddle on him, fucking... Oh, how's your family doing? Heard you fucking divorced your ass and left your ass.
No. I don't know if it's going to be that. Because that's just straight up heel shit. But I do think he's going to be, like I said, I think a lot more violent in ring and outside of it. And I think his promos are going to be a lot more personal. Kind of like that promo they had, the one right before this match on the previous Raw, where it was very personal, cutting deep. I think Punk is going to go back to being a bit more lighthearted, funny, like, oh, fuck you, you just hate me because they love me type of Punk that he was for a lot of the Drew feud. But I think Seth continues to be more, like...
personal.
Pissed off, personal, yeah. Like, I do think we see dark Seth.
He's like, well, how come you don't want to have kids, you bitch, or what?
Type of shit, yeah. Like, I do think he's going to dig more into those wounds. Because he lost. He had that... he's embarrassed. Dude, we saw him staring down Punk after the fact, and Punk is telling him, I'm the best in the world. And he's, like, looking at Punk like, dude, I want to fucking kill you. Like, he's looking at him with so much anger, but also the disappointment of, like, I can't believe you just beat me, you son of a bitch. And then he rolls out of the ring, and Punk continues to celebrate. But there's that moment where Seth is staring him down, and it's like, that to me is Seth... the character transforming into like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. I don't care what I gotta do. Like, to me, that was the moment where he got pushed over the ledge. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I feel like this is where Seth has to become. It's not too different from what you're saying, like the more serious. I just think more dark. That's how I would look at it. He's gonna be dark Seth.
Nah, it's just a serious Seth.
Like, what was the Penta Dark?
Pentagon.
Like you've been telling me about?
Fucking Pentagon, bro.
He's been educating me on more of the
Junior,
Penta
bro.
shit as we're preparing for the debut. So yeah, Seth is gonna beat up woman.
From his highlights.
Seth is gonna be the first AJ Lee feud when she comes back. AJ Lee is gonna make her massive return. Everyone's gonna be going crazy. Seth comes out, stomp to AJ Lee.
Yep. 100%.
Tell me that's not fire.
100%.
Bro, if Seth stomped AJ Lee at the Royal Rumble,
Put him out of action again, bro.
oh, dude, come on.
Breaks his neck, man. Forget.
Come on. Alright. That's it. That's my final prediction. Seth is going to stomp AJ Lee at some point this year.
That's a crazy take. How the fuck did that even happen?
Because Seth is evil. He's Pentagon, who beat up women in Mexico. And so now
Lucha
Seth
Underground.
is going to beat up women in America.
Oh, crazy.
Wrestling wise, not for real,
Okay.
but wrestling.
Right.
Dark Seth.
You gonna fucking super kick Chelsea Green?
So far in this episode, we've really just been diving into the Netflix Raw debut, all that shit, which there's been a lot to talk about. But it's been a while since we got to do one of these L shows here. And one of the biggest moments in wrestling in the women's division happened
SmackDown
recently on
history.
SmackDown. Yeah, we got a cash in.
Successful cash in.
We actually got the cash in.
Tiffy time, bro.
I don't know if it is Tiffy time. Holy shit. How you feeling? Was this something you were expecting?
Not at all, but
Me
deserved.
neither.
Deserved, well deserved.
I also think well deserved, but just out of nowhere.
I feel like they made it more legendary like that, and I feel like she deserves that.
I do agree that it was way more exciting that they just pulled something out of nowhere. I appreciate that it gave... I love when they give the shows, like Raw and SmackDown, the weekly shows, that feeling of, like, anything can happen at any time. Like, just off the top of my head, when Jay won the Intercontinental title recently, like, that was one of those things that, like, I wasn't really sure was going to happen on that episode of Raw, but out of nowhere, we just get, like, a massive title win. Like, things like that are really exciting to me, and I love when we get those moments, especially after all these failed cash-ins. Like, it was great to finally see her not act like a complete dipshit and get the cash-in done properly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just... yeah, man, honestly, what a moment. What a fucking moment. I'm very curious to see where everything goes from here. I don't know. How do you feel about... what do you think the first feud looks like for Tiffany Stratton?
Nia Jax definitely getting here and get back.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like she's gonna cook. I feel like she's definitely gonna cook.
I do feel like that's a natural, probably Royal Rumble match. Like, we gotta have Nia versus Tiffany. But I think at some point, we probably bring back Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that makes sense. It feels like the
That's gonna be
rumblings have
probably
been
the
happening.
Mania
And
leading up to it, shit, bro.
it feels like Mania is
We
bound
got
to
Tiffy time
have
versus the Queen, bro.
a Charlotte versus Tiffy.
They're probably gonna call it the Princess versus the
Mania.
Queen or some shit, bro.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, fuck, damn. That's probably gonna be it, yeah. Damn. I mean... so how are we feeling? Are we happy? Do you think that Tiffany's gonna have a strong title run? Are we excited for the Tiffy title reign?
Yeah, bro. Even if she drops it on Mania, because they're probably gonna make space for like that shit they led up to. I've been seeing a lot of people bring up when Jade Cargill first came to SmackDown, she ran into Charlotte Flair and shit like that. And he kind of had that stare down and shit.
I remember that, yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised after Mania. That's what's gonna probably happen and shit. But no, bro. Definitely looking forward to see what happens if fucking this title run with Tiffy time, bro. She's definitely gonna be a good one. Like I said, she's probably gonna drop it most likely at Mania. I feel like because it's too early for her to give her like a good run, bro.
I do feel like her retaining at Mania would be huge though, to give her that WrestleMania moment, and then even if she drops it at like the next PLE after, just to give her that moment at WrestleMania would be massive. And can I tell you why I'm kind of on the train of giving Tiffy a strong title run? It's because of what it represents to the rest of the roster who's coming up from NXT. Because she's really becoming, like, when 2024 ended, I was on the side of Braun Breaker being, like, the call-up of the year. I felt like he had accomplished the most in 2024 being called up from NXT. But literally just, like, a week after the year started, I feel like now that has to be Tiffany Stratton because she won the top-level championship on her brand. Like, that's such a massive, like, just a positive sign for the rest of the talent in NXT that, like, if you do great work in the developmental brand, get called up to the main roster, and continue to bust your ass and do great work and get over with the fans, there is a path to success that's available there for you. Because we've seen it back in the day that we would get great talents coming up and it just wouldn't go the way that we would want to see it go under the previous creative regime. Don't need to get into all of that, obviously, but under this new era, under this Triple H era, I think that would be a great signal to the rest of the roster just that, hey, like, we're taking our younger talent a lot more serious now. This is kind of an example of the new generation of NXT call-ups and how we're looking at it. Because, I mean, I just feel like the talent in NXT at the moment right now is so strong, and I feel like it's going to continue to be that way. And honestly, if you want pro wrestling to stay where it is now, the only sustainable way to do it is to have that developmental system being as strong as it possibly can. Because, like, as much as we loved John Cena growing up, look at it, now he's about to retire.
Yep.
It's going to be the same thing one day for Roman and Cody and Seth and Randy, all these other guys that we love right now. And Becky. So you need to continue the pipeline going forward so that the stars of tomorrow can be created. And so, I mean, Tiffany is one of those ones on the female side of the roster that is, like, she could be a star for the next 20 fucking years.
She has a major fucking following, a major push, bro.
And it's because she's really, really good. Like, she's a phenomenal wrestler in the ring. She cuts great promos. She can be a babyface or a heel.
She's hilarious.
I feel like she's just got that natural charisma on the mic. And obviously, like, we see the high flyer, awesome shit that she does in the ring. And she's still pretty young into her wrestling career from what I understand. Like, I feel like the technical side of things could continue to improve. And ultimately, she could be one of those women that you build the roster around for the next 10 to 20 years. And so I feel like giving her a strong first title reign, that doesn't have to be nothing ridiculous. I'm not saying she has to hold it for, like, fucking a Roman Reigns run. But a strong first title run where she gets some good defenses, and like I said, ultimately if she has that Mania moment, I just think it would be a good signal to the rest of the roster, all the younger talent, that hey, if you work hard, the opportunities are there for you. Now, if she loses it at Mania and it ends up being a banger match with Charlotte or whoever, like, I'm not against that. Like, I think what you're pitching as far as she drops the belt at Mania to Charlotte and then we go into a Charlotte versus Jade feud, I think Charlotte versus Jade at SummerSlam or something would be absolutely epic. I think that'd be great as well. I just think that I think they're in a good position where they could do a lot of things that could work really well. One of those things, in my opinion, would be showing the NXT talent, just the younger talent in general, like, this is
But I feel like it's too soon.
How you can succeed. I hear you though.
With Tiffany, it's okay because like yeah, bro, she deserves it. But it's still too soon for like how you said earlier, Roxanne Perez and shit.
Trust me, bro. When she dethrones Rhea.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Let me cook, bro. Let me cook.
Crazy.
Any final thoughts on our new women's champion over on SmackDown?
Nah, bro, she deserves it.
Do you want to see the pink belt?
That'll be hilarious.
I want to see the pink belt.
Let's see it. Let's see her creativeness, bro.
I think it'd be good.
Tiffy time belt.
Let's do it.